Hi bestie, welcome back to my channel where you're certainly gonna get hooked on books. And welcome to today's video. Today is a fun video because we're gonna talk about the 10 book recommendations that I have here for you guys to get you out of that reading slump. Have you ever been in those moments where you really want to pick up a book and you really want to read something, but you just do not have the motivation or the drive to get to a book or read a book or even read a page at that? Me too, my friend. I definitely have been in that situation before. So I have 10 books here that I feel like would be the perfect read for you to get out of your reading slump. I don't only have one genre here. I go from fantasy to thriller to literary fiction to historical fiction. You name the genre, I most likely got it on this list. So let's get into it. But first, a quick little matcha break. The first book that I have here for you guys is Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. This is obviously a thriller and it was so good. So basically it's two strangers that they meet after experiencing very devastating tragedies in their life. They meet in a group therapy session and they decide to come together and come up with a very scary plan to solve each other's problems. And this one's really good for a slump because this is just one of those thrillers that every chapter just ends on like some type of little twist or turn that you're always kind of like saying, just one more chapter, just one more chapter. And you keep turning the pages and you keep getting into it. And oh, this was so good. I rated this one 4.5 stars, so I highly recommend this one. The next one I have here for you guys is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This one is in the general / literary fiction realm, I would say, and it's all about this elderly woman by the name of Tova that she works in the aquarium of her little town, and she unexpectedly forms a relationship with an incredibly funny, intelligent octopus who might know more about her past than anyone else's past. And love that little blurb right there. It's honestly like the reason why I would feel like this is a good book slump kicker is because it really is like so wholesome. It has so many light-hearted, funny moments. It's very surprisingly emotional. It gets you in your feelings. So if you're really kind of burnt out on the dark books that might be out there that you might be reading, this definitely feels like a little warm hug that's going to get you out of that slump. The next one I have here for you guys is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. So this is obviously a retelling of the Trojan War, but it's definitely a much more beautiful queer retelling because we're being told the Trojan War retelling story through the relationship between Patroclus and Achilles. And I think this is great for a reading slump because the writing, like the prose, is so freaking gorgeous. It's like so heart-wrenching and so gut-punching. And even if you do or you don't know about the mythology, again, towards the Trojan War and things like that, you know, that emotional journey is what keeps you really invested in the story and really rooting for your characters at the end of the day. So I highly recommend this one. This was a perfect 5-star read for me. The next one I have here is historical fiction, and it's another queer love story, and it is Atmosphere by TJR, Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this one is set during NASA's space shuttle era, like when they first started launching like the space program and getting people to go into space and things like that. And it's following specifically a woman by the name of Joan who's chasing her dreams of becoming an astronaut, obviously, but she's also navigating her love for one of the girls in the space program too. And not only obviously love, she's also navigating through her ambitions, her goals, and having to sacrifice things in life for her career and for love and things like that. This story crushed my heart in the best way possible, guys. Like, Taylor Jenkins Reid just has such an addictive writing style. Like, even if you're not like fully interested in like the space concept, I think you're still gonna fly through this book because truly the love story and the ambition / drive of Joan and the motivation that she has to really achieve her dreams is so inspiring. I feel like this would kick your bunk slump like this immediately. 5-star read, highly recommend. If you haven't read it, I need you to read this now. So the next one I have here is also a thriller / a little bit of horror, like just the tiniest bit of horror, and it's so like darkly comedic in a sense too, and that's Julie Chan is Dead by Leanne Zhang. So this one's basically following Julie after she finds out that her twin sister Chloe unexpectedly dies, and Chloe is an influencer online with hundreds of thousands of followers. When Julie finds out that her sister Chloe died, she decides to secretly take over her glamorous life. But things start to quickly spiral out of control into something way more darker and sinister, and that's the part that really got me with this book. This one is like super fast paced, it's full of the like influencer drama, there's mystery in there, there's so much good social commentary on the toxicity of the social media influencer world, which was greatly done in my opinion. It was practically impossible to put down. This was such a good 5-star thriller for me. I highly recommend this one. The next one is a literary fiction, and I was very pleasantly surprised with this one. This one does not get out of my mind like ever. Like it lives rent-free in my head. And that is Una Out of Order by Margarita Montemor. This one is following Una, and on her 19th birthday, she wakes up decades in the future. So instead of turning 19, she actually turned 50. And then every New Year's Day moving forward on, she jumps to a different year of her life. Just that right there convinced me immediately to read the book. That concept is just so unique. Like you just immediately are grasping, you want to know what's going to happen to her in the next year. Because it's non-linear. Like she's 19, then she's 50, then she's 25, then she's 37. Like I love that. I love that concept. It was such a good book. The character development of Una was out of this world, especially for it being a non-linear timeline, for the character to still develop in such a strong way. Highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Okay, so this next one is a thriller. I feel like thrillers for me are palate cleansers. I've said this before in the past in my channel and other videos, but I really do use thrillers as a palate cleanser, and I feel like those are the best types of book for me to beat a reading slump. So this next one, of course, is another thriller, but it's The Inmate by Frida McFadden. Now wait, before you say anything, let me explain why. So this one is following, I believe her name is Brooke. Let me see. Yeah, her name is Brooke, and she's a nurse, and she starts working for a prison that she discovers that one of the inmates in the prison that she's working for is her ex-boyfriend, who was convicted back for a couple years ago, I think, for murdering her high school friends. Crazy. So I feel like this one's good to get out of a slump because there's something to Frida McFadden books that are so bingeable. Like you could just literally sit down and read this book in one sitting. No lie, because it's so easily bingeable. It's addictive. Like there's something in that writing of hers that really gets you wanting to keep turning the pages and wanting to find out the next thing that's going to happen. And the plot twist at the end of this book, oh, to this day, I'm still like, this is the best Frida McFadden book I've read to date. Like this definitely surpassed The Housemaid. I read The Housemaid first and I thought that was really good. But then when I read this one, I was like, yeah, this one beats and takes the cake. And I've also read other Frida McFadden like Never Lie, The Boyfriend, and a couple others I'm forgetting right now, but I'm telling you that this has been always the standout for me in Frida books. For my last 3 recommendations, I do not have them physically because I did get them through my library first. I still have to buy them, and you know, I'm in a book buying ban, so I'm trying my best not to buy them until I want to and get all that TBR down to 0 hopefully one day, because I'm looking at my TBR shelf right behind you guys. I really want to get that shelf down to almost 0 before I decide to buy any more books, especially new books. But anyways, I'm derailing. Let's keep on moving. The next one I have here for you guys is a romance, contemporary romance. And I was not too into contemporary romance for quite some time, for a few months this year, I will say. But I recently read Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I feel like that definitely like kind of kicked that feeling of not liking contemporary romance in the butt, because now I want to read contemporary romance again, and I'm feeling the love for it again. So my next recommendation is a romance, and I already did mention the author, but it's not Happy Place. It's actually Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So this one, we're following a literary agent and an editor, I'm pretty sure, and they keep running into each other in this like little small town because she went on vacation with her sister there, and he's there for some other reason I'm not remembering right now. But you know, eventually they already know that they're kind of like rivals working for rival agencies. And, you know, that little rivalry that they have starts to turn into like a little competition against each other. And it starts to become a little bit of a romance. And it's so good. Oh my gosh. Nora and Charlie forever, guys. Like Nora and Charlie forever. This one is so good for kicking a reading slump because it really is like so witty. It's funny. There's like such good banter between Nora and Charlie. Like you're going to be smiling, kicking your feet, giggling the entire time. And that's exactly how I was with this book. That was an easy 5-star romance for me. The next one I have is, I know, another thriller. I know, please stay with me. Stay with me. It's a good one. So this one is Ask for Andrea by Noel W. Iley. And this was my first Noel W. Iley, and I read this one back when I first got back into reading, late 2023, I want to say. And this one's basically revolving around 3 women that were murdered by the same guy, and they refuse to move on in the afterlife until they actually stop him from doing what he did to them. Like they work together in the afterlife to stop this man that's alive and doing the same thing that killed them, you know? I hope you're following along. But just that premise, like, of ghosts haunting this guy and trying to take him out, like, it was so good. So this one, I really think it is perfect. I think it's like the perfect palate cleanser / getting out of a reading slump because it's short. It's super, super bingeable. It has those short, quick, bite-sized chapters that you want to just keep on turning the page. And it's just so action-packed, filled with suspense and things happening constantly. Like from the very first chapter, you are hooked like that. So highly recommend that one too. And it would not be an Andres video if there's no horror in it. And I saved it for the last one because really it is like a best for last for me. And that is When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. This one, it's a horror book, but it's surprisingly like filled with a lot of heart too. It's following like I'm pretty sure she was an actress. She was kind of like struggling in her career to be an actress, but then all of a sudden she ends up having to protect this little boy that comes out of nowhere, like having a panic attack, freaking out, saying that his dad is following him, trying to kill him. And then she goes ahead and decides to take him under her wing and, you know, protect him. But she discovers that his dad is not actually like a human. It's actually a werewolf. And things just take a turn from there. And it's the fact that this book goes down that realm of creature feature horror, but then converts into a different type of horror midway. And I'm not going to say it because it is a spoiler, and that's what really made this book 20 times elevated for me. Like, when I'm thinking about it, I'm still like freaking out because of how good it was. And honestly, I know that maybe horror is a little more difficult to get introduced to, especially when it's such a strong, like in your face, lots of gore horror. So I will say that as a heads up, this is very gory. This is one of the creepiest books that I've read this year so far. So just keep that in mind. But I feel like it's good for a slump because the chapters truly fly by. Like there's also bite-sized quick little chapters. And besides the creepy, scary aspects, it really does have like a much more emotional impact to you. And it kind of keeps you guessing and like asking like, what's actually happening here? Like it's not possible what I'm thinking, right? Like it can't be. And then bam, like, okay, I need to stop before I give any more spoilers. But there you have it, bestie. Those are 10 book recommendations for you to get out of your reading slump. So whether you're craving something that's going to emotionally destroy you, something that's going to keep you up to 2 a.m., wanting to find out the plot twist, or simply just something to remind you why you fell in love with reading in the first place, I really do believe that one of these 10 books will help you get out of that reading slump. And let me know in the comments if you have a go-to slump buster that always works for you. I want to know. Drop it in the comments because I like to add more books to my reading slump list that will actually get me out of reading slumps, because I always try to avoid getting into those because there's way too many books that I want to read and not enough time. But if you like me and this video, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time that I post a new video. And if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment. I think there's like a wolf emoji of some sorts. Go ahead and comment the wolf emoji for When the Wolf Comes Home being one of my favorite books ever. And also just so I know who the real ones are that made it all the way to the very end. And with that, bestie, let's get hooked.